It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports,
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. The ULike Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. ULike.
Thursday, Pete Sousa Show, September 18th, 2025. We are in the Alico building high above Central Texas, and we're stoked to be with you guys today. We're here right on time. Nothing else going on but this show and connecting with you guys. We're going to be talking with number 89, Steve Smith, University of Utah Hall of Famer, soon to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer, 16 years in the NFL, and some spicy opinions present day. One of the best wide receivers for my money that I've ever watched, one of the funnest guys to watch play, and one of the funnest guys to listen to present day. So like I said, I am a massive fan of Steve Smith, and I can't wait to talk to him. We're also going to talk to Brad Gable, former Baylor quarterback, former NFL quarterback. A jam-packed show today. And there's a lot to get to, a lot of football to get to. Brad Gable, of course, played at Baylor, played on a handful of different NFL teams. I want to talk to Brad about his Sawyer Robertson critique and exactly where he thinks Sawyer could go from here and what he likes about his game. Also going to talk about Arch Manning. Todd McShay did a tremendous job of breaking down all the reasons why Arch might be struggling. And he did it with a film breakdown, and he did it on the McShay Report, which, by the way, is free. All you have to do is give him your email, and there's amazing content there. So check that out when you get a chance. But I'm actually going to break it down for you a little bit, tell you what I like about that, because I thought it was a real cool look as to, we have all these reasons, all this noise we hear as to why Arch Manning might be struggling, but it's rare that somebody of Todd's ilk will sit there and break down the tape and share it with us all for free. So I want to talk a little about that. Off the top of the show, here it is. I mentioned it's September 18th. And the coaching carousel is already spinning, which is fine with me. I don't have an issue with that. It's kind of the price of business for a lot of these coaches. I mean, if you look up how much they're making, I think we're all right with it. Like I looked this morning because, and we're going to talk about the UCLA job. I think Jed Fish is making $8 million a year. Like that's just that. There it is. Jed Fish, right? Did a good job at Arizona. Now the head coach of Washington. And a Washington team that was coming off playing for the national championship, he earns that job, didn't inherit it. But that's a lot of money. And I say that to say that's why we get to talk about these guys like they're commodities, because it's fun and because I don't feel bad. That's my justification. I'm good at that. Trust me. Try my personal life. Okay, so and by the way, that's the noise, right? You got to block that out and do the right thing. But I'm telling you that the rationalization is always there. It's always at play, right? Me and my buddies in AA, we call that the dark passenger. You got to shut that dark passenger down. And I'm shutting the dark passenger in the media world down right here, right now, as I was having some peanuts before the show. Hold on. Oh, yeah, real quick. Slovačiks, thank you very much, right? Slovačiks, by the way, that's a place you got to go to. Over the weekend, if you're coming into town for the Baylor game, maybe you're traveling north going to Dallas, maybe you're traveling south going to Austin. If you're on I-35 and you cross through west and you don't get off there and stop at Slovačiks, that's your problem, okay? Also, Socorro Family Ford. If you're looking for a car, I don't know where else you'd go. Look, there are car dealerships banging down the door over here at Rogue Media trying to be a part of this show. No. Just Socorro Family Ford. That's who we're with, and that's who we ride with because they rode with us since the very beginning. Just like Daniel Stark and just like Crawford Austin Properties and First National Bank of Central Texas. All right, let's get to it now. Dave Aranda has a huge game this weekend, and he is not at all focused on what I'm about to talk about, but I'm focused on it because I think it's complete rubbish. Now, there are people, right, guys in the football industry, whether it's pro or college, insiders, information guys who just don't miss. Okay, I consider Pete Thamel one of those guys. I consider Peter Schrager one of those guys on the NFL level. Adam Schefter, of course, right? List goes on. But sometimes those guys get into big picture stuff, and it's to no fault of their own, right? Like a Brett McMurphy or a Pete Thamel will say, maybe a throwaway comment. Hey, yeah, that guy might make sense for that job. Look no further than Brett McMurphy. Yeah, Dave Aranda and his wife, their first date was at a UCLA football game. And, Dave is from Southern California. And that's where it ends, right? Like, okay. And maybe there was more to the comment, but when I'm reading articles now or when I'm watching certain shows or podcasts, that's what I'm hearing. Right? Like Brett McMurphy mentioned this. So now this, right? Like Brett McMurphy mentioned that Dave took his wife to a UCLA game for their first date. He mentioned that Dave Aranda is from Southern California. And then you start to get these other outlets who do, and I do it here, dude. We aggregate, we talk, but just this is my time. So I'm going to give my opinion. And anybody else is entitled to give their opinion, but this is where I get to give my opinion. I think, like, when I'm watching a show and they're like, oh, Dave Aranda could go to UCLA, that is the biggest bunch of horse shit, like, you're ever going to hear. And we don't swear on this show, but only when necessary, okay? I want you to think about what is going on right now with UCLA. Okay. Yes, they are a part of the Big Ten. Okay. That is actually more problem than solution right now, because the gap between UCLA and the Michigans and the Ohio States is like the Pacific Ocean. Like it's that wide. And it truly is right now. So, and you can close it, right? It can be closed, but there are financial issues there that are somewhat insurmountable right now. When they, and I remember this, and a lot of you guys do too, because it became public around the time of COVID, you know, that UC system in Southern California or in California, they had to bail UCLA out like around 2021 or 2022. They gave them around $70 million because the school was in such a deficit, and its athletic programs particularly. UCLA has never had like the donor psychopaths, for lack of a better term, that other schools around the country have had, right? Like when you think about graduates from UCLA, and we talk about this a little bit, like it's a little snobby, right? Like when it's compared to USC, right? Like UCLA, you think like doctors, engineers, lawyers, like people who are, and thank God for them, changing the world, right? People who actually matter, not football coaches, but they're putting their money back into the academic side, right? They're not like oil guys, right? Who are dying to see, their home team, right? Whether it's Texas Tech or maybe it is TCU or, a huge program or a huge part of their heart, right? TCU is probably not the best example, but you get my point. Texas, how about that? So they're putting money right back in to those athletic programs, maybe some of whom these people didn't even go there. When you think about a lot of the people that end up going to UCLA that graduate and go on to like huge careers, right? The folks I mentioned about changing the world, a lot of them are transplants. Like I was with somebody who was a doctor who went to UCLA from Texas. Like she was just in UCLA for medical school. Like now that's my experience, but it's also what I know about that school. More transplant than like people living there, going there. Different from USC, which, by the way, USC has all this Hollywood money, all this media money, and they're quicker to put it back into their shiny toy, which is football. UCLA is just not there right now. And by all accounts, the money that they've gotten from Big Ten TV contracts has been going right back into like plug in the jug, dude. Like, okay, like we gotta patch this hole up here. We're losing money here. Like it's basically helped them stay afloat. I say all this to say, when you think about a guy like Dave Aranda, and my man Matt Mosley was talking to Swingler the other day, and Mose was making a great point. And I by the way, I love Dave Aranda. I always have gone, and it's for me calling games on ESPN, and I've gotten a chance to sit down with him a few times, and I'm just crazy about him. Okay, there's something about him. We talk about core values and core beliefs, and somebody who blocks out the noise and has a single purpose. That is Dave Aranda, and to me, it's pretty attractive, right? And he also does a great job of breaking through to athletes because they understand that he cares about them, right? Like Dave does care about the athletes, and that's how you get him to play, okay? But unfortunately, for college football, in the world of college football, there's so much more that goes into re-energizing a program like UCLA. And there are bells and whistles, and forgive me, but the word sexy becomes involved, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that program needs right now that Dave Aranda does not have and does not want to discover in his own self, right? For instance, and this goes back to Mosley talking to Scotty, Matt Rule, right? Like say what you want about him. Matt Rule was going to stand there in the press conference before and after the game, before being during the week, and then after the game. And he was going to be compelling, dude. He was interesting. He was exciting. He would say stuff, like sound bites, and he was a fire and brimstone guy in the locker room with his players. Those are all the things that UCLA needs right now. They need someone that will come in there and energize those boosters who actually maybe exist, but if they do exist, they have gone totally dormant, because why would they go running to Westwood to drop money off for Deshaun Foster, where there's so many question marks, right? Like UCLA needs someone who can move the needle. Dave Aranda is not that someone, dude. Just because he went to a UCLA game with his wife on his first date. You know, Christy and I went to some goddamn place in Burleson for our first date. I don't even remember the name. Like, do you think we're going to have our wedding reception there? Like, it's not happening. So that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that I think we're going out of our way, and we do this all the time because we're looking for things to put out there that people will find interesting and, you know, think that we know or have an angle. Like the fact that there are a couple circumstances that would make someone think that Dave Aranda is good for that job at UCLA. We're not really looking at UCLA. We're not looking at the need for the school. Like, and by the way, part of the reason people are saying, or people, and not a ton of people, but it's out there, and I'm shocked. It's like gaining steam. I think Cam Stewart was talking about this. Surprise, surprise. I'm going on with him later on today on Locked On Baylor, so I'll straighten his ass out too. Trust me, I will. That little runt. He's always messing around. He's always behind the scenes now, stirring it up. That's why they call him Scam Stewart. So I'm looking forward to getting him in a headlock later on. But back to the issue at hand, which really isn't an issue. It's just a rant of mine. But I like, this is really bothering me. Like, I feel like I'm somewhat close to the situation. Being here, having done a bunch of Baylor games, you know, just having proximity to the program, knowing people over there in football and in all other parts of it. And I don't know, man, if Dave Aranda were to go to UCLA, I would be so shocked. But the last point that I touched on, this is something I need to brush up on with my delivery here. I can go all over the place. But when I was talking about the Big Ten, you know, people talk about, are people starting to notice that those top two conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, are separating themselves from the rest of the pack? I believe with all of my heart and soul that the Big 12 is right there. Now, when you talk about X's and O's and Jimmys and Joes, the Jimmys and Joes with the SEC and Big Ten are always going to be a cut above, right? But with the transfer portal and with all the changes now and with all of the amazing talent that surfaces every offseason, and now it'll be just that January window, as you know, that spring portal window is going to be closed officially, and that's great news for coaches. We could talk about that another time. But I don't think the Big 12 is that far behind. I think you're much better suited to make the college football playoff and to increase your salary at Baylor by getting to the college football playoff, right? If you're Dave Aranda and competing, you have a better chance of getting to the college football playoff at Baylor than you do at UCLA. And that's going to be like for 5 years. So it doesn't make sense for Dave. It certainly doesn't make sense for UCLA. None of this actually made sense for me to talk about this morning, but talk about a bug up my ass, man. So yeah, that's it. The good news is there's somebody even more intense and passionate about football than me on the other side of this break. Someone who needs no introduction, but I will introduce him after this. Steve Smith, coming up. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovakics.
Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Back here on the Pete Sousa Show, we are thrilled to welcome future NFL Hall of Famer, Utah Hall of Famer already, NFL analyst, 16 years in the NFL, Steve Smith. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Doing great. I really appreciate you taking the time and being here with us this morning. The first question I want to ask you about, I got to get into a little bit of your Utah career. You go to Santa Monica Community College. You're an LA native. How did you end up at Utah?
There was a wide receivers coach named Fred Graves who recruited me. LA was his area. The year prior, they had a good friend of mine, Demetrius Posey, that committed. While I was playing my freshman year, Demetrius was in his sophomore year, Demetrius Posey. And I caught their eye as they were getting and recruiting Demetrius. So me going to Utah was honestly following Demetrius. He didn't go. He was academically ineligible and so didn't go. And unfortunately never got the opportunity to go and passed away in a car accident. I think 2002. But that's how I got there. There's some people that knew me, found me, and then Fred Graves. The cool thing about that, he was a quarterback coach at New Mexico State, and the backup quarterback name was Brian Cox. Well, Brian Cox was the director of Park and Recreation of Sports at the park that I grew up around.
No kidding.
So Fred Graves, all the men that I knew that he's had relationships with have went on to do, I would say, some good things and had a productive life. And so I felt that having someone that knew kind of my character, what type of individual I was, and from the same neighborhood, that he would it was a good fit. He had my back, and till this day, me and Fred Graves are tight.
Dude, I love stories like this because, you know, a story like that, an opportunity for you, you get to Utah, you seize it, right? And now we're talking about one of the best NFL wide receivers of all time. When you got to Utah, was there a moment, Steve, where you thought, okay, like not only can I do this, but I could probably do this at the next level?
No, I never thought about college football through my whole daydreaming as a kid of playing in the National Football League. My whole dream was just be in the 1,000-yard club. Right? I had some football cards, and that's when a 1,000-yard club was everything.
Remember those cards? Like you look at like the Art Monk 1,000 yards.
Yes, the Art Monk.
Yeah.
My guy that triggered. Now he wasn't like one of the guys that I really looked up to because I'm an LA dude, but Carl Pickens.
Oh yeah.
Carl Pickens was in the 1,000-yard club, and that's when they used to warm up. Remember, with the helmet and the jerseys, no shoulder pads.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's all I want to do. I just want to be in the 1,000-yard club, and never really looked at college. I didn't take school seriously until all of a sudden school needed to be taken seriously, which was my junior year of high school. I had to take pictures with my sophomore year. I had to take pictures with the freshmen because academically I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't enthusiastic, wasn't doing my work. And so I basically took my sophomore year into my junior year to be able to graduate as a senior. And then I just started to realize that I need to start paying attention. If my mom said, if you want to really do this thing that you're trying to do, you're sure not helping yourself.
So you get to Utah, and then one of the guys who's there as a defensive coordinator is Kyle Whittingham, right? Still the head coach there today. Anything you noticed then about Kyle Whittingham that you thought, man, this dude is the real deal?
No, not really. I was so young, I wasn't really sure and knew what a college head coach is, let alone what a defensive coordinator should or shouldn't be. Now, I was just trying to figure out, what the hell do I wear in the snow, right? I had a lot of things going on mentally that I don't think I was capable of saying, hey, Kyle Whittingham is the next head coach. But Kyle Whittingham has done an unbelievable job over the years. I've gotten to know him over the years, seen him. And so I think it's absolutely outstanding what he's doing. And I just hope that all of what Kyle has done for the university, that isn't the peak of the success for the University of Utah.
No, man, I think they got a real shot this year. They got a great offensive line. The defense, right, is always good. The kid Dampier is great. Have you been keeping an eye on the team at all? I mean, you got so much going on covering the NFL.
I do. I actually only really watch Utah. I don't really catch any other college games because Saturdays are the day before. I got to be locked in for all those games and taking notes between NFL Network, my own podcast, and talking to different media outlets.
Hey, have you seen Devin Dampier at all this year? Like, yes, what do you think about him?
Well, I actually saw my son currently is at Liberty. And so I've seen him play against Liberty last year when he was at New Mexico.
Yeah.
So I've been fully aware of him because he's New Mexico is in that conference with Liberty. So I'm very aware of him. But I think he's taken a step forward a little bit in regards of his passing. We know what he can do running the ball. But just like Lamar Jackson, there are some things that people are going to want to see. Can he go through his progressions consistently? But when he does, and when he has time, and when he can just sit back there and pick a defense apart, I think that's when he's the most dangerous. I think his throwing ability gets overshadowed because of his running ability.
Yeah, he's looked really sharp this year. And
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing how he does Saturday. That's a huge stage for him. You know, people love, like, even right there, Steve, like, you're pretty authentic when you break down players, games, you know, like, and even last week, like, and you got, like, you know, you're talking about Jerry Jeudy and he's right there on the field. Like, you don't run from anything. Like, and I got to imagine these players really respect you because of that.
Oh,
Like,
no, the older ones do. The younger ones, it's a gift and a curse where we are right now. The younger players, some they for whatever reason believe, well, I'm in the league, so I'm a peer of retired players, or I'm a peer of a guy who's a 10-year vet, and that's actually not what you are. You are I don't care what draft pick you are. It's your first year. So you have no idea what's going on. And the reason I know that, I was a rookie and I had no idea what was going on. And some of the players now today, because they're in the league, they've arrived because they're this, they're that. And I get stuck and thrown into well, you're an old head now, so you're jealous. And I've had to break it down to some of the young players. Bro, you're on a sorry team. I'm not jealous of you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not jealous of when you lose a game that you get yelled at and overcoached and criticized by the coach. I don't miss that.
Yeah,
when you win, I still turn off the television and go to sleep and sleep well. When you lose, I don't roll over and say, man, we lost. I go to sleep the same way if you won. The outcome of now as an analyst, the outcome of the football game no longer affects me emotionally because I don't have a dog in the fight anymore.
Yeah, but your contributions to the game are still incredible because I really do believe, you know, we need a voice like yours. You know, even the stuff you said recently about Travis Hunter. I mean, everybody is so taken with his ability to play both ways, and we should be, right? Dudes like me are like, wow.
Hey, how about our guy Smith Snowden? He's doing it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and that's what they're talking about. Yeah, totally.
So I went to Travis Hunter's pro day and all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he is doing or trying to do. But what I do think is people need to have a lower expectations a little bit. You know, I've read some of the comments from my show and people are like, man, the way he played in college, man, he's going to be a great one. He's going to be a potential Hall of Famer at both positions. Man, it's amazing. People can see Hall of Famers in the beginning because half of the Hall of Famers that have made it and the ones that are like me waiting to make it, we haven't seen ourselves as Hall of Famers, and the people that drafted them didn't see them as Hall of Famers because they wouldn't have drafted them so low as they did if that was the case.
It's a long road, right? Do you think like that it is a sacrifice to his ultimate ability on either side of the ball, like having to split time in meetings, right? Like maybe like his energy level getting low. Like what's the real impact?
I mean, the real impact has nothing to do with anything more than he is learning how to play wide receiver and corner in the NFL. He was an exceptional, dynamic, whatever word you want to use, as a wide receiver at the University of Colorado, at Jackson State, at the University of Colorado as a DB. But that whatever you do on Saturday does not mean that you will have great tour success on Sunday. It doesn't translate. And it definitely doesn't translate overnight.
Do you think, like, do you see in him, like you had the dog in you, right? You had that chip on your shoulder. He strikes me as a guy, and I think like it does help, like off the field, he's clean living dude. Like I think
he's a great dude. Man,
yeah.
He's a great dude. He's super smart, right? Sharp as a tack. He sees the game from the shoulders up. He sees it. but I think because of everything that's going on in the world, I think we are so hesitant to sometimes speak the truth. And here's my truth. I hear all the time, "Oh, he's a dog." You can never teach a dog how to bark. You can't. It's impossible. So when you're asking yourself, does he have it in you? That dog is either going to bark or it ain't. And if it doesn't bark, then it means what? It ain't a dog.
So we'll have to find out, basically, is what you're saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have to find out. I'm not discrediting him, but I'm not giving him the quick and easy badge.
Steve, man, I appreciate you talking with us. I got a couple more questions, and then I'll let you
Let's
go.
go.
I know you got a lot to do today. So we have one dude in common, right? I used to work for the Charlotte Bobcats and the Hornets, and I work with your man, Gerard Littlejohn, one of the best dudes of all time, right? So I know Charlotte, right, having lived there. And recently, people are freaking out because Steve Smith said X, Y, and Z about Charlotte being fair weather fans. Like now, is that Steve Smith the NFL player who, because I know, because having worked with athletes, like nobody knows what you guys go through, right? And nobody knows the noise you guys hear. It's almost impossible to block out. But at the same time, living in Charlotte too, they can be a little fair weather. I love the people there. I love living there. I remember seeing you around there. You were a superstar who acted like a regular dude, and it was really cool. And so that city because you're among the people a lot. Like where exactly are you on that? Is it as a player or is it as a native of the city?
Well, my comment was as a former player in that city. In the city that I currently pay taxes, that I donate, that my foundation is engulfed throughout the community. We have a mental health facility that only services kids from ages 4 all the way to adults up to 70 years old, 365 days. It's a BHUC, behavioral health urgent care that serves the community and the uninsured. And then we have a medical clinic that serves over 6,000 clients, uninsured. So I'm in this city and I see it. However, as a former player, I do take offense when I'm hearing fans not show their disappointment, because that's not the problem. We all get disappointed. But it's when they start making personal attacks on players, especially young players, as if they personally know that individual and they went under the hood and checked his oil, right? And talking about how Xavier Legette is not this and how Bryce Young is too short. And I take the offense because I remember being on a 1-15 team.
Yeah.
And I remember how fickle this town was and how people quit coming to games.
Dude, nobody went to any games. Like nobody.
And then 2003, now you're my homeboy. Now you want to ride with me. And it was fun for the city. 2005, we had a great run, came up short. But in the times that we come up short, how are the fans treating some of the players? And then you also understand, you want these players to you want them to open up to the community and invest in the community and be around after their years of playing. Well, you can't poo-poo on them while they're playing and think this is a place they're going to settle down with when they're done, because they're going to be like, man, the 5 years I was here, all you did is crap for me. So let me go back home to where I'm from, because at least I know they're real. And that's why I said what I said, because it's like I watched this football team last year and this year and in the preseason. They weren't up for the Super Bowl. They are not going to be one of the teams in the Super Bowl. So if they're not going to be one of those teams in the Super Bowl, they're not making the playoffs. What is a realistic, outcome or expectation?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of delusion there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Just like there's a little bit of delusion when you win and you expect the player to be open arms and doing everything. The Bills Mafia, Buffalo Bills, they had 18 years. 18 years of not really being what they are today after going to 4 straight Super Bowls. But those fans came to the game. They may have left at halftime, but they didn't sell their tickets to the opposing team. They come every time. And so that to me, that says something. I meet Browns fans all the time. They've been destitute for how many centuries?
That's been a while.
Detroit Lions fans, how long have they been waiting for a team like last year and a team that put a 52 burger on the Chicago Bears?
A long time. No, you're making a real sense here. That's why I wanted to ask you and give you a chance to expand a little bit, you know?
So, I mean, people are upset, and that's fine. I get it. But when you start sliding my DMs, talking about you're going to be threatening me, calling me all these different names, that's why I just said, come on now. Let's slow down. Because I'm just.
What do you do when people hit you in the DMs like that? Do you just delete it, or do you?
I just deleted, but it was like 10 guys in a row that kept saying things, and what I was basically I'm trying to say is, somebody was like, "Man, do you need bodyguard applications?" I said, "Nah, I don't need no bodyguard applications. I'm taking body bag measurements, because if you pulling up on me talking about you gonna do this or you gonna do that, this is an open and carry state, homeboy."
Yeah. I sometimes think people don't quite understand, and
what they don't understand, I'm not from Charlotte. I'm from LA, the inner city, and we do things just a little bit different.
Talking to the future Hall of Famer, Steve Smith. Steve, one more question for you, because I love seeing you break down like tape of guys who are running routes maybe not as crisp as it takes to stay in the NFL. But if you had to start a team with a wide receiver, somebody who just does it the right way, who is that person right now that you see and you say, man, I love that dude's game, the way his attention to detail, running routes, and his success?
I mean, it's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Puka Nacua. There are a ton of wide receivers, T. Higgins. There are a ton of wide receivers in today's game who are running such good routes. And the schemes they're in emphasizes their ability to take over a football game the way we've seen it, right? But what the college game is doing a little bit is they aren't teaching some of these young men how to run the full route tree. And that's the part that these guys get in trouble, is when you don't know how to run the full route tree, and then you get on the team and you played X your whole college career and high school. So that's 8 years of muscle memory of playing X. And then you get in the league and they say, hey, you got to play Z. That's a whole different style of play. In this offense, Z, does a lot of force. They in motion, a lot of movement. So sometimes the translation of Saturday doesn't always equal up, because Saturday responsibilities are watered down compared to the responsibilities on Sunday.
Awesome stuff, Steve. So appreciate the time, man. Steve Smith, of course, you'll be seeing him in the Hall of Fame. You can catch him on the NFL Network. Check out his podcast too. Steve, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, dude.
Hey, appreciate you. You're going to catch me watching that game on Saturday against my Utah Utes, baby.
That's a huge, by the way, Steve, the game starts at 10 a.m. local time.
I know, I'll be there.
Oh, you'll be there?
Yeah, I'm heading out. I'll be there. So I know you guys are having Zach on here after. Go Utes. Tell him to get his guys ready.
Steve Smith.
Smith Snowden is coming for you.
All right, man. Steve, thanks so much, dude.
Appreciate it. All right.
There he goes, Steve Smith. How cool is that, man? And that's really cool that he's going to be at the game on Saturday. And a guy like that, man, I could listen to him forever. I have to be understanding of his time and where he has to go, because, I mean, there is a lot to learn from a guy like that. Again, 16 years in the NFL, played his ass off every single year. And that is why I told Scotty this morning when he asked me, hey, you going to ask him this certain question? I said, ice up, son. I got it covered. Steve Smith's the man. All right, the Pete Sousa Show presented by Savachix. We'll be back after this. We got Brad Gable coming up. We're going to talk to Brad a little bit about Sawyer Robertson, from one legendary Baylor quarterback to another. Pete Sousa Show. Stay with us.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at FullwellFertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at GEVI.com to discover more.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Stability.
We're back on the Pete Sousa Show. What's my man Kevin Fisher saying there? Can you pull up his thing? It's too far away from me. K-Fish. Now, that is coming from a PR extraordinaire, by the way. That's a guy who kept Allen Iverson in line. By the way, we'll have to have Kevin on. Kev, yeah, let's do something here in a little bit because I got to get some of your AI stuff. I was so stoked to see that Amazon is putting out an Allen Iverson documentary here rather soon. And like Allen Iverson, I think he is worthy of whatever Netflix does or whatever Amazon does. It's not going to be as good as it should be. I can tell that. Allen Iverson is worthy of, okay, what did they get? They gave the Cowboys 9 episodes. You could give Allen 5 at an hour and a half a clip. And like, I think it would blow people away. And honestly, I think basketball fans kind of need that. And really, I think Allen kind of needs that as he kind of rides off into the sunset, because his level of skill and just like the explosiveness that was watching him every night was just an amazing experience. And the culture shift that took place when Allen became a superstar on and off the court, like there's no mistaking the timing of the two. So yeah, Fish, we'll be in touch. I'll be in touch. All right. Great stuff. So I want to keep going here. I was texting my buddy John Tobias about Steve Smith. He said, I told him what he said about Charlotte people, because JT lives in Charlotte. He said, do you like him? I said, love him. That was really cool for Steve to give us time. Let's talk a little bit about Arch Manning. I had something that I saw this morning. I am a member. I subscribe to the McShay Report. Okay. Our boy Todd McShay. By the way, it is free. Okay. So you can subscribe to the McShay Report. All you got to do is give your email. And then if you're like me, you wake up in the morning to this delightful article, because there's a lot of people out there who are telling us about Arch Manning and why he's not good and he's not this or that. The pressure's too much. Look, McShay breaks it down, like legit breaks it down for you. He watched the tape and he delivers quite the assessment of Arch. And I just want to go through a couple things. If you want to see it, obviously subscribe to the McShay Report, but I'll let Todd handle, all the X's and O's of it. But one of the huge things that McShay has said is that he's pressing. Like, he is very much so pressing. And he uses an example against San Jose State. And this is the article. Scotty's scrolling through it now. Against San Jose State, Arch began 9 of 12, 3 touchdowns in the first half. But then in the second half, or towards the end of the first half, he plays a little hero ball, throwing into coverage, leading to an interception that's taken right down the sideline, and you're looking at it now. That sets up a field goal for San Jose State. Like, that's just not acceptable. And another thing that Todd illustrates in this article, and does it with footage, is that his mechanics have been off. Not a shoulder injury, not a shoulder problem, but there are mechanical issues that he has dealt with. And he said basically there is no injury, right? But when a quarterback is pressing his game, when he's pressing too hard, he's moving too fast. And that pressing leads to bad mechanics. So, I mean, by the way, what a line for a quarterback. You don't think this position is hard? I mean, not that you don't, but that's kind of a way of leading to an emphatic statement. Like what a line to toe, right? You want to talk about a high wire act. It goes back to the John Wooden, right? Be quick, but don't hurry. Like Arch Manning, someone who is made to play the position, is still rushing in the pocket, and that is screwing up the way he throws the football. And that's leading to a lot of the trouble. And then he's also, I guess, Ryan Wingo, right? A former 5-star guy, great receiver. Same class as Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, right? Is like literally Arch is just locked in on him all the time, right? Like he's trying to go to Wingo way too much, and it's screwing up the rhythm of the offense, and ultimately it's hurting Arch. So Todd talked about he's just locked in on this guy, and I understand that just from a fan's perspective. Like when you have somebody that's that good, and clearly he's shown Arch how good he is in workouts and practice, but there's an issue there, right? There's some trouble that's going on with that, and I think he'll figure it out, and so does McShay. McShay just says, hey, this isn't what any of us have envisioned, but Arch got knocked down. The question is whether those those things, and I'm reading from what Todd had, whether those things, those issues we mentioned, can be fixed or at least remedied, right? And Todd's very honest because the guy doesn't work on like BS hunches and gotcha takes. Like, he doesn't know what's next, you know, and we're going to find out, you know, literally. Now this kind of comes to what's going on inside of Arch Manning, right? Like, how does he respond? Because things are about to get more difficult. And there's two sides to that, okay? As he ventures in to the teeth of that SEC schedule, okay, which could upset any quarterback on the field. What is going to happen? Now, two things can happen. One, he could completely, and by the way, an unsuccessful season is not going to define Arch Manning's career. Like, we as much as we are prisoners of the moment, you do have to back off and take the 30,000-foot view, right? Like, if he does lay an egg this year, he still come back and be phenomenal next year and be the guy that we thought. Like, time takes time. And I know we like to think like life is short and you got to seize the moment, but life can be kind of long. And so there is an opportunity for him here to get back on track, even if the rest of the year is a complete bust. But that SEC schedule that I talked about that could knock him on his ass, right? That could actually be something that helps him, right? And gives him an opportunity to quickly change the narrative, right? Quickly get back on his feet and be the guy that we all thought Arch Manning could be. And that's something that, again, like Todd said, it all remains to be seen. But I urge you to go ahead and check out that McShay piece. It's on the McShay Report. Sign up for the McShay Report, by the way. It's free and it's awesome. We're having Todd back on the Big 12 show here in a week or two. And ultimately we'll put that on our show, but he's a good friend and he is just doing a hell of a job. He was on the Triple Option, that podcast with Urban Meyer and Rob Stone recently. And he did a phenomenal job, Todd did. And he just pumps out great content. Great content. One more piece of content that I wanted to talk a little bit about that I mentioned the other day. Gary Danielson was on Mad Dog Russo, and he talked about John Gruden possibly being a guy that could be a good fit for that UCLA job. Okay. That's the job that people are talking about right now. But one of the biggest jobs in all of college football is likely to come open here in a little bit, as they say in Texas, right? That's the old Mike Hamilton. Here in a little. Everything's here in a little. Well, here in a little, we could have a head coaching change at Florida. And with that head coaching change at Florida, you are going to have, or with the coaching vacancy, because Billy Napier, I think he's on the clock over there, right? That coaching change or the firing of Billy Napier would open up a real can of worms, I think in a positive way, for the coaching carousel we talked about. Like, there are a lot of people, like, for instance, I know I mentioned, who was I talking about earlier? Jed Fish. Jed Fish went to Florida, right? He's a New Jersey guy, but he went to Florida. Like, so that's a guy, of course, who will be locked in on that job. John Gruden is a perfect fit for Florida. And the reason is, you know, he's not going to get an NFL job for a while. He still has a lawsuit going. He's jonesing to coach. The Barstool stuff, as much as Gruden just loves talking football and loves talking ball, that's calculated, man. He now is on the radar of all these young football prospects, right? He is a relevant football figure that would really lend itself to boosting and re-energizing a program like Florida. And the reason I say John Gruden at Florida rather than UCLA is because, one, Florida is ready-made to win now, okay? There's no question about that. That is not the rebuild, the epic rebuild that UCLA would be. And two, John Gruden is a Florida guy. Even when he was with the Raiders, he never sold his house in Tampa. He still lives there to this day, right? And he still hangs out with people down there. I was listening to Ira Kaufman talk yesterday, the old Tampa Tribune writer, mention about how Gruden is still around, right? And Florida is his home base. So you couldn't imagine a better job perfect fit. John Gruden at Florida, something that I really think could happen, and something I think is to keep an eye out for. But yeah, that Florida job opens up. It's a whole new world, right? But we'll continue to keep an eye on it. All right, the Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovakics. We're going to step aside. Looking forward to Brad Gable, former Baylor legend, or I guess you're always a Baylor legend, former NFL quarterback. Coming up next, Pete Sousa presented by Slovakics.
With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
VivoSun's mission is to empower growers with stylish and effective products, making indoor growing accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Visit vivosun.com today and get started making growing plants and vegetables easy and automatic.
Whypersonalloans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit personalloans.com today.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on the screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
Stability.
At the Pete Sousa Show, it is time now. We are getting set for Baylor and Arizona State. And no time like right now. We had Steve Smith on, the wide receiver, earlier. Let's get somebody who can get him the football. Here comes Brad Gable. Brad, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Great.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time, dude. It means a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited about Saturday's game and excited about this season for the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, that's my first question for you. As somebody who, really put their fingerprints all over this program and helped move it in the right direction, when you see Baylor and, Dave Aranda, some of the success has been up and down, but it's certainly on the right track, finishing up last year and this year. How do you feel about where the program is today?
Well, I feel good. Obviously we had a setback, in the first game. It was a tough game, a tough loss to Auburn. Wanted to win that one because it was in Waco, and always good to get off on the right foot starting out. But I really like Coach Aranda. Like what he's done with the program. He's a defensive guy, which I feel like they should be a little bit better this year defensively because that's his strong suit. So I think they'll turn it around and play better defense. But I think he's got him going in the right direction.
Yeah, Brad, when you look at Sawyer Robertson, certainly a guy who's going in the right direction. As a former quarterback, what do you see in him that sort of separates him from other quarterbacks that you're watching right now?
I think just his calmness out there, his demeanor, his confidence. When I listen to him talk, he just has this faith and this confidence in the system, and he just really is accurate. I really like his accuracy. His long ball is great. He moves around good in the pocket. I mean, he's really a prototypical NFL quarterback. I think he's got a real good shot to be successful at the next level.
Yeah. What's the first thing you look for when you look at quarterbacks and you see him as an analyst, as a former player?
I think it's just not getting, I think it's just staying in the moment. I think it's, having a calmness out there, not getting too high, not getting too low. You're going to have mistakes. Mistakes going to happen. Interceptions, fumbles, turnovers are going to happen. But that's what I really look for is a guy that, just has that confidence in his team, confidence in his system. The guys believe in him and just his demeanor out there. And I think Sawyer has that for sure.
Your experience at Baylor, right? Your ability to separate yourself and have a career in the NFL. What's the number one thing you remember from playing ball in Waco, playing at Baylor?
Well, I really the system at the time that we had at Baylor was more of a spread type of system. It was unusual at the time because everybody was just running the ball. We had a quarterback coach at the time, Cotton Davidson, who was a former NFL quarterback.
Yes, yeah, he just passed away recently, right? He's from Gatesville.
Yeah, he passed away recently, but I really like Cotton. That was one of the reasons I went to Baylor. He, along with Grant Taft, being the coaches there, the system was just suited for me. I was more of a drop back type quarterback, sit in the pocket, big, strong guy with an arm. So, being able to look at the field, read the defense, spread it out, a lot of the things that they're doing now, we were doing, back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was really kind of right before the run and shoot took off. So we were doing a lot of one back, no back with a lot of motion, a lot of different formations. So it just fit me to a T. And that was one of the reasons that I went there. Looking back, I think it was a great decision. It helped me to obviously get to the next level and really read defenses. By spreading it out, you're able to see what the defense is doing. And that just helped me mature and learn how to play the position.
How did the rest, because you had some studs in the Southwest Conference at that time, how did the rest of the Southwest Conference sort of adapt to facing you and an offense that was at the time progressive?
Well, defense was a big deal. A lot of teams were running the ball. There was a lot of great defenses. Yeah, you're right. We had Texas was good, A&M was good, Arkansas was really strong at that point. It was tough. We really were focused on trying to limit turnovers, take care of the ball, play error-free football, don't have mistakes. We didn't get the five-star guys back then, the blue chippers. We got a lot of guys, that were just wanted to play, loved the game, and that fought hard. And we won on intangibles, and that's what Coach Taft taught us. And we were able to win a lot of games because of that.
A lot of your winning led to you having a long career in the NFL. What was your biggest adjustment from Baylor to the NFL?
Yeah, that's a good question. I answer it the same way every time. It was just the speed of the game. It was just fast. You had to react fast. Guys that you thought, were covered in college or were open in college, they were they were covered in the pros because they were just so fast. They could get there, and you had to be so precise with your accuracy. And the safety, he might be one side of the field, and you think I got this kind of cover two look. I got the whole right side. Well, that safety can get over the top because he's fast. I mean, you're talking about every All-American for the last 10 years are playing in the pros, and you're facing one team or two teams in college that has a few All-Americans on it. It's just fast. Things happen fast. You have to react. You have to play fast and limit mistakes.
One of your experiences, I'm almost positive, in the NFL was you were with Cleveland when they moved, right? That last season?
Yes.
That is just a wild set of circumstances for anybody to have to play in. Because such a passionate fan base. Obviously, you'd made, you'd been there. You were there in 92 and then back again, 94, 95 or 93, 94. What was that like, that last season? That ride with Bill Belichick, of all people, as the head coach, a young budding coach.
Yeah, I really, have to give a lot of credit to Coach Belichick at the time because it was like you said, a really unique situation. One that we didn't anticipate, but he really handled it well. We just adapted. Bill was just really had us focused, on what we're doing, on our job, as he says now. Just do your job and limit the distractions. And we did, and we had success. But he was early in his career. It was his first head coaching job, and you could just tell. I could just tell at the time. I mean, this guy's good. He knows football. Just very focused on the team and limit the distractions, but new football, new defense, and obviously he's had a great career.
Anything you remember about that last game there?
The one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think just the fans. As you mentioned, the fan base there, just unbelievable. I mean, I just. Of all the places, I played in a few places, and obviously being around the NFL, you get to go to be a visitor at a lot of home stadiums. But the Dog Pound back then in the 90s, and it was right before or right after Bernie Kosar and all the success they had. I mean, those fans were just livid. I mean, they were rowdy. They had fun. I mean, it was what they lived for. I mean, they love football. They just are passionate about it. And, I hope that they, get back to where they once were in success because the fans really deserve it there.
I'm right here, buddy. I'm an Eagles fan. Okay. So
hey,
there you go.
I've been there too. I love it. I love another great fan base. I mean,
oh my gosh. Right.
Yeah. That was my first stop.
Your first stop. Yeah. And you were there with Randall and Jim McMahon, correct?
Jim McMahon. Yeah. I was a rookie in 91 and coming out of Baylor, and I thrown in there with Randall, great quarterback, Jim McMahon just coming over from the Bears and all the success he had winning the Super Bowl. It was an unbelievable time. Got to play as a rookie when Randall had gotten hurt the first game, blew his knee out. So immediately I go to number 2. Jim's the number 1 guy, and Jim gets beat up, and so he misses a few games. So I get thrown in there and get to play. Wasn't ready to play. I wish things would have happened differently, and I would have had a little bit more success. It's hard as a rookie coming in the NFL. I did okay, but I wish I would have had a chance to sit and grow and learn the position more than getting thrown in there. But hey, you never know when your opportunity is going to come, and they came early for me. Then obviously went to Cleveland after that for 3 years with Belichick and had a good career. I was really fortunate, enjoyed it, met a lot of great people and played with a lot of super great athletes. Good football.
And let me tell you something. As an Eagles fan, you did a great job. I mean, I don't know that I could have screwed it up with that defense. So, right?
Reggie White, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons, Jerome Brown, Eric Allen. we had some guys. It was absolutely unbelievable how good the defense was.
All right, well, last one for you. You finish up you finish up in Washington, but, you go from kind of wrapping things up in Cleveland to a startup in Jacksonville. What was that experience like being part of an expansion team that, by the way, was good pretty quickly, but you were there for the very first year?
Yeah, Tom Coughlin, the head coach, another Super Bowl winning coach, getting to play for Belichick and Coughlin, great experience for me. I should have got into coaching after getting all the tutelage from those guys. It was a lot of fun being there the first year in '95. Good to be around the fans, and they were so excited to have a new team come in. We struggled. It was tough. We had a lot of guys that came in from the expansion draft, including myself. We did get Tony Baselli as a tackle who roomed with me on the road. Great guy. We had some wonderful players, terrific. And they, like you said, they had success soon after that. But what a fun place to be. What a fun place to live. I go from Texas, where it's, pretty much warm all the time, to Philadelphia, where it's cold, and then Cleveland for 3 years. And so then I get down to Jacksonville, like, hey, this is golf weather 24/7 all the time. We played a lot of golf down there, had a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Brad, man, I thank you so much for taking the time. It's always cool to chat with a legend like you and somebody with so much insight. And we'll be cheering for Baylor on Saturday, man. I know you will be too.
I will be too. It should be a good game. Great to be with you.
Brad Gable, take care, man.
All right. Thanks, Pete.
There he goes, Brad Gable. That was fun to talk a little bit about some of the coaches that he had played under, the players he played with, and, of course, his career at Baylor. I did not know that Cotton Davison was his quarterbacks coach. Cotton Davison was he was a Raiders quarterback, and I think he was a punter too, but he was an amazing player. And I know he was celebrated at the Raiders before his passing, and then ultimately after his passing. I know he meant a lot to Al Davis and the history of the organization there. All right, the Pete Sousa Show will be back tomorrow, better than ever. Thanks to Steve Smith. I'm still not sure how to handle Steve Smith talking about putting people in body bags. That was just I was like, wow, this is an interesting interview. And as an interviewer, I never want to let a guy get too far off track to where he can say something that I don't know, but he's Steve Smith, right? He's a grown up. He can say whatever he wants. Anyways, thanks to Chris Visser for making that happen. Thanks to Scotty Swingler, right here riding shotgun. And Liz is here again. She's got some work to do because when her show was on yesterday, they must have moved around the Joe Namath poster. And the poster got, Liz, it's right there. I put it right where you were going to come in because maybe you can fix it for us after you do the voiceovers for the commercials. All right. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Savachix. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And, we'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Show. Sports.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.